Today we put the spotlight on the next generation. We see what they're up to in the field of agriculture. Plus, we hear from the minister himself on what's allowed as it regards grooming in schools.
We have signed off on the grooming policy, and the document is available. We'll circulate it across the system.
Hi, I'm Sandra Clark. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 18. At least one manufacturer has thrown his support behind the state's move to ban the importation, production, usage and distribution of single-use plastic carrier bags and straws and styrofoam. The ban was announced during a press conference Monday and takes effect on January 1, 2019. Wasinco Group Limited's Francois Chalifour has welcomed the move, saying his firm will increase investments in recycling initiatives. Mr. Chalifour has also expressed enthusiasm about government's plan to introduce a national deposit refund scheme for PET bottles. That scheme, which is to come on stream by November, aims to collect 80% of the island's PET bottles over 5 years.
We applaud the government for going forward with these initiatives. We will support them and let them know what's working, what's not working, and work closely together to ensure that it does work so that we have a cleaner, healthier Jamaica moving forward.
Though the ban on single-use plastics and styrofoam takes effect on January 1, 2019, manufacturers have until January 1, 2021 to apply to NEPA for limited exemptions on the manufacture and import of polyethylene bags. The local manufacture and distribution of polystyrene foam used as finished goods in the food and beverage industry will also be banned as of January 1, 2021. So too will the importation of straws attached to lunch boxes and drink pouches. While the ban is imposed, the state, through the Exim Bank and the Development Bank of Jamaica, will help manufacturers retool and streamline their businesses. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is supporting the move by regional tourism leaders towards embracing disaster resilience management. Mr. Holness says building resilience in the tourism sector is crucial to sustainable development.
We must embrace the opportunity to show leadership in coherent policies so that we can overcome constraints and seize opportunities.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the Global Tourism Resilience Summit of the Americas recently. He voiced support for the establishment of a Global Resilience and Crisis Management Center to be housed at the UWI, saying the facility would coordinate robust decision-making and strategic implementation. The center is designed to help vulnerable states recover quickly from natural disasters. And still on the tourism sector, government is looking to improve golf courses across the island to bolster offerings and earnings for the local economy. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett made the announcement while addressing stakeholders at the 16th Annual Travel Agents Golf Tournament Awards in Ocho Rios on Saturday. He said the Tourism Ministry would be partnering with the Jamaica Golf Association to identify golf courses that require improvement. In addition, Minister Bartlett said he was engaging foreign investors to upgrade courses and establish more playing grounds.
We have to look at improving significantly these courses and to enable us to bring that demographic, more of that demographic, into our destination.
The tourism minister says going forward, a sizable amount of funds will be spent to develop the country as a golf tourism destination. In other news, 100 facility and property managers in the public sector are being trained in energy auditing. The training is being facilitated by the University of Technology UTech through a Memorandum of Understanding signed with the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica PCJ recently. The agreement will develop critical technical skills among the workers to support lower energy consumption within the public sector. The training will also support sustainable energy efficiency projects at government buildings under the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program.
I note that technical areas to be covered include understanding the value and principles of energy management, conducting walk-through energy audits, performing energy planning, and preparing energy management reports.
Through this partnership between PCJ and UTech, Jamaica will possess more knowledge and technical skills needed to guide the efficient use of energy within organizations.
Upon completion of the training, the participants are expected to act as energy monitors, influence behavior change in the workplace, promote the procurement of energy-efficient equipment and appliances, and foster more proactive approaches to energy management and conservation. 2 members of the judiciary have been appointed to serve at higher levels within Jamaica's courts. With effect from September 17, Pamela Mason will serve as Master in Chambers in the Supreme Court, while Justice Leighton Pusey will take up his post to act as Judge of the Court of Appeal with effect from September 24. They were sworn in by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen during a ceremony at King's House on Monday. While congratulating the new appointees, the Governor General encouraged them to carry out their duties with integrity and without interference.
As each one stands before you and each case is presented to you, you now exercise your discretion for timeliness, for fairness, for objectivity, and for everything else that applies to the judiciary.
And finally, the Northeast Regional Health Authority, NERA, continued its enhanced vector control program in Douglas Castle, St. Anne today. This follows Sunday's intervention by the vector control team, which identified and destroyed mosquito breeding sites. The team also oiled stagnant water and carried out thermal fogging of the area. Activities are part of NERA's ongoing interventions since July 16 to reduce the impact of increased mosquito breeding sites in high-risk St. Anne communities during the rainy season. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.
Three Miles is one of the country's busiest intersections with 70,000 vehicles passing through the area daily, and it's now experiencing roadwork improvements. Motorists and pedestrians are being asked to follow simple road rules as they traverse the 3 Miles area and any other road construction zones in the country. Remember, the prescribed speed limit is 30 kilometers per hour. Adhere to the instructions of the flag persons in these areas. Always look out for posted warning signs. Expect delays. Plan for them by leaving early to reach your destination on time. And finally, slow down and be aware of your environment. The development of the 3 Miles road network is just another example of our government working to make Jamaica the place of choice.
Plans are afoot to minimize the inconveniences experienced by the traffic congestion in the corporate area. For more on these plans, watch this.
Prime Minister issues instructions aimed at easing traffic congestion in the corporate area, urges tourism leaders to embrace disaster resilience, and welcomes the addition of new housing developments in Clarendon. I'm Anthony Morgan with these and other news stories in Jamaica House Weekly. To ease congestion in the corporate area, police and transport officials have been instructed to implement more efficient traffic management and diversions. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the directive Wednesday during a meeting with senior management from the National Works Agency, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a construction firm China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC.
The government will be putting in place the necessary measures to ensure that the public can get to their destination on time and with sufficient ease.
Among the measures are an increase in signage and alternate corridors for roads where construction works are taking place. Prime Minister Holness also instructed the authorities to increase communication with the public.
There should be visibly a level of urgency displayed by the officials to ensure that this matter is addressed.
And as a follow-up to the Prime Minister's meeting, Minister Darrell Vaz was dispatched to Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing. As he urged the public's patience, Minister Vaz said the dissemination of real-time information and installation of additional signs and alternative routes would be implemented. Shortening the construction time for the 3 miles road is also being explored.
So we're also looking at working hours and the possibility of night working so that we can reduce the 8 months to a lesser time based on what we know, and of course with Christmas coming.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Carl Samuda, also weighed in on the traffic issue.
The inconvenience that you might be suffering now is the kind of inconvenience that is going to give, it's a sort of sweet pain. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to get in and out, in to Kingston and out back home in a very short while. Communities are going to mushroom throughout the length and breadth of the country, bringing relief to the overcrowded situation in the corporate area.
Minister Samuda was representing Prime Minister Holness at 2 National Housing Trust events in Clarendon. He visited Longville Park to hand over keys for the Longville Vista and Longville Court housing developments. The communities are also in line to receive a health centre and a school. Minister Samuda also broke ground for Money Musk Glade at Jacksonville in the parish. Through a partnership with the Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings Limited, the National Housing Trust will be delivering 84 serviced lots. Of that amount, 50 lots will be set aside for sugar workers and their families who were previously living on the land.
Housing is not a privilege. Housing is a necessity, and it rises almost to the level of a right of every citizen to have a secure roof over your head. And the government is determined that by the end of this term, more people will have that security. Not only the roof over your head, but security of tenure.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has thrown his support behind the regional tourism leaders' move toward disaster resilience management. Asserting that building resilience in the tourism sector is crucial to sustainable development, Mr. Holness endorsed the establishment of a Global Resilience and Crisis Management Center. The center is to be housed at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and aims to assist global tourism destinations in preparedness, management, and recovery from crises that threaten economies.
We must embrace the opportunity to show leadership in coherent policies so that we can overcome constraints and seize opportunities.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at the Global Tourism Resilience Summit of the Americas on Thursday at the UWI. Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mike Henry, was also on the road last week. He toured the soon-to-be new home of the Jamaica Information Services Television Department at South Odeon Avenue in Kingston.
Having been asked by the Prime Minister to oversee this aspect of the Office of the Prime Minister, I want you to know I attach great importance to it. And I don't think I know anybody who attaches more importance to communications than the Prime Minister.
Back at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Holness met with the Ambassador-designate for Cuba to Jamaica, Inez Force Fernandez. During Wednesday's courtesy call, the two spoke of deepening the 45 years of diplomatic relations between their respective countries. Mr. Holness reiterated Jamaica's unwavering support for lifting the U.S. embargo on Cuba. He also committed to continuing cooperation programs in health and education. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
We have a subculture that supports those who do not inform, an anti-informer culture that pervades our entire society that we must break down.
There is much talk as to how a child's hair should be worn to school. Education Minister Senator Earl Reid recently provided clarity on that and other grooming questions.
So we have signed off on the grooming policy. And the document is available. We'll circulate it across the system, put it on our website, etc. I want to draw some reference to some of the guidelines in relation to hairstyles. The law allows the school to set rules, and that you're required to abide by the rules. And part of the guideline is now to say to schools, they must review their rules to make sure they are in conformity with the Constitution and the laws, and they must engage their stakeholders so that we are all at one what is reasonable in terms of a rule. In relation to hairstyles for boys, a school rule could say the following, that subject to exemption or modification on grounds of religion, health, or other permitted grounds, that the hair shall be clean and neatly maintained, shall be kept in a conventional low cut that is evenly graded around the head, with length kept close to the scalp, away from the face, ears, and eyes, and secured up, and if it is long, at the nape of the neck, hair of an intermediate length that cannot conform to these requirements must be covered at all times with approved headwear. I'm saying these are things that the school will have to settle on. We have given some guidelines on it. You as parents need to be involved with the PTA in agreeing. Hair shall remain in its natural texture and color. That one I can say for sure that I think we can rule on that one. I think I would want to give a clear guideline on that one, yes. We don't, because that's going to create too much contention with people having colored hair and all the kind of distraction. No fashion trends, shaved sides or visible lines or pattern. Too much, again, contention with that, so I would agree with that one. Let us adopt that one. No hairstyles affiliated with known gangs or antisocial cliques or groups, yes? No chemically processed styles. No bleach or dyed hair. Eyebrows for the boys shall not be shaved or have any visible lines or patterns. No beards, moustache or sideburns are allowed. Male students with facial hair must be clean shaven. Or, you know, they can give guidelines that they can keep it. That's one. Or the alternative, they can wear it but it has to be neatly cut. And of course, internal tattoos and body piercing. Students must not have any visible tattoos or body piercing, which I think is a reasonable one. Again, subject to exemptions for religion, health, or other permitted grounds. For the girls now, that the hair equally should be clean and neatly maintained, worn, gathered, or plaits, braids, twists, or locks that are evenly spaced. And by the way, the Rastafarians already are allowed to wear their locks. I think the contingent of those are not Rastafarian, so the guidelines I spoke about is something that, subject to any constitutional direction, that is what we have to agree on. Hair should remain in natural color. The school may agree to permit the following, that no fashion trends, shaved sides or visible lines or patterns, no hairstyle affiliated with known gangs or antisocial cliques or groups, no wigs or hair extensions, no bleach or dye hair. Again, for the girls, there would like to be rules relating to accessories, accessories that are plain, inconspicuous, and in school colors. No more than 2 colors may be worn at any one time. Eyebrows shall not be shaved or have any visible lines of pattern. It also may speak to nails. Nails should be short, not extending beyond fingertips, and clean. No nail polish. And students should not have any visible tattoos or body piercing except a single piercing in the lower lobe of each ear. So we are asking the schools to form their subcommittee, which incorporates student voices, parents, importantly, all the key stakeholders, for us to go through and formulate the rules in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of the country, and for there to be a full stakeholder understanding and the knowledge of these rules. And once the rules are developed, sanctions are attached, then we are saying the law says you are required, your child is required to obey the rules of the school.
Respecting yourself, how you carry yourself is very important. You hear me, young men? We take for granted oftentimes as men that people judge you before you even open your mouth. From they look at you, they form a perception. They make up their minds about you. So the question is, when they look at you, what do they see? Understand you might not always agree, but you can respect somebody else's view.
Respect my life.
Respect my dad.
Yeah, man, respect.
It doesn't take anything to be respectful. And you can never tell the impact you will have just by saying, good morning, please, thank you.
Respect.
It is National Engineers Week. In Observation, we highlight a lesser-known field of engineering, agriculture. Next, the future generation speaks to increased technology to improve yields.
I'm studying general agriculture. I want to be a veterinarian.
Bioengineer. I want to manage my own agricultural business.
They are the future of the agriculture sector and are working towards making a significant impact.
You have certain crops in Jamaica that are being depleted. I would like to re-engineer those crops and bring them back into the world. I'm planning to do something similar to this, or if I can fine-tune the same thing and rename it into a brand that I can offer to the economy, I want to do this.
This is the KISA model, a project that highlights an approach that can be taken by farmers to treat recycled water on their farms to irrigate field crops.
The main purpose of this layout right here is to have an environment where we try to have less economic problems, try to build up a system that is economically and environmentally friendly.
The idea and design came out of a need to implement such a system on the grounds of their Hanover-based agricultural school. The Nakalva students also believe that the KISA model will be able to sustain farmers through periods of low rainfall and drought. Here is how it will work. Say you are a pig farmer. Each time you wash the pig pen, that water can be channeled to various treatment points. The water, along with the waste substance, will then pass through a biodigester, allowing you to produce your own energy for your farm as well as manure.
In the biogas digester, anaerobic bacteria breaks down or digests the material and releases a gas known as methane gas. This methane gas is then sent to the control station where our generator converts this gas into energy and is used up on the farm on a day-to-day basis. So after the biogas digester, the solid part of the material is sent to the drying bed. In the drying bed, it is left open where it can be dried completely. After it is dried, the material is then used back in our outfield and our greenhouse as organic material or manure.
Following that is the water treatment process. The liquid from the drying pond is sent to the anaerobic pond, which is the first stage of treatment.
In this pond, there's a substance known as BOD. BOD is biological chemical oxygen demand. This is the amount of oxygen that bacteria requires to break down organic matter. It is reduced by 85% in the anaerobic pond, and in the second pond, which is the facultative pond, it is reduced by 95%. In the facultative pond, algae is present to add additional oxygen to the water by photosynthesis. And doing this, the algae also removes nitrates and phosphate, therefore purifying the water a little further.
From here, water moves to maturation ponds 1 and 2. This process is to move coliform bacteria.
Anaerobic respiration occurs at the bottom of the pond. The main purpose is to reduce pathogens like bacteria, viruses, E. coli, and no chlorine. Then it will travel in a channel to storage pond, where the water stays there.
This storage pond will also facilitate rainwater harvesting.
This harvested water is used to lower the pH of the water stored in the storage pond, and it is also used to spread out the level of pathogen in the water. This is done because there is a recommended level of pathogen per liter in the water, and doing this will reduce the amount of concentration of pathogen in that specific liter. After the treatment of the water, it is then sent to the control station where the generator and pump is activated, and it is dispersed into our outfields and in our greenhouse irrigation system.
So I believe that this is one of the best ideas that all Jamaican farmers should partake in. Not only that it is very beneficial to our economy, it is also beneficial to your pockets. To get this started, it is not really an easy process, but over a period of time you'll realize that because you are creating your own energy, you don't have to go ahead and buy water, because you're the one reusing, recycling your water, you're the one harvesting your water, you're the one treating it, so you don't have to pay to do all of those processes.
It is this application of technology and innovation within the agriculture sector that is being promoted by Portfolio Minister Carl Samuda.
We have to become technology savvy, and we have to introduce it at all elements of agriculture, because that's the only way that we are going to be on the cutting edge of competition.
And the Minister Samuda is encouraging young people to be part of this transformation by choosing areas of agriculture as careers.
The future of Jamaica's agriculture must rely on the wisdom of the old, but the energy of the young. They are the ones who are going to carry this process forward.
You really go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back. Not a piece better than how you did go eh? Boy, you not shame. It's so you come after your tan so long. Not even little language, boy. Not even little swung. And your sister, what work only 1 week with American. She talks so nice now that we have to deduce if we understand. Why? You couldn't improve yourself and you get so much here. You spend 6 months of foreign and come back ugly. Same way. Not even a drapes trousers, why? Or a pass to read him quote. Not even a gold teeth. Or a gold chain round your throat. Suppose me last me pass go introduce you to one stranger as me lamented son who lately come from American. Them woulda laugh after me, boy. Me couldn't tell them so. Them woulda say me lie. You was a spend time back a moko. Never chat me, boy. You chat too bad. Shut up your mouth. I don't know how you and your papa go and make it up, but if you want please him, make him think say you bring back something new. You always call him pa. This evening when him come, say poo.
This is where the magazine closes for today. For a lineup like you just saw, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may also visit our website and other social media platforms to stay in the know on matters of national importance. And of course, join us daily on this station for the latest installment of Jamaica Magazine. Until next time, I'm Sandra Clark, on behalf of the team here at BJIS, saying, walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.